Welcome back, chatters. I'm Nat.
And I'm Kat, and welcome to the Crime Chat. I am your forensic femme fatale, and Natalie is your true crime addict connoisseur.
We're just two normal girls who obsess about dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
Here's your disclaimer, chatters. The following Crime Chat contains adult content and descriptions of violent scenarios. Today, we're going to get dirty, nitty-gritty. So your listener discretion is advised.
You have been warned, and before we get into today's Crime Chat, Kat, what have you done?
Well, chatters, Nat, if you didn't bring your nuggets, I've got plenty. And this is Nuggie behind me here, holding our Crime Chat logo. Nuggie's going to help me drop the nuggets from picking up from last week's story. So I've got all the nuggets. I brought them to you. We'll drop some of the nuggets throughout the story. So we're going to conclude our two-part series on Edmund Emil Kemper III, the Coed killer. And as a reminder, chatters, this is a bonus episodes. We do bonus episodes when there's 5 Saturdays in a month. So that last Saturday is a bonus episodes, and they are only available to listen in full on our Patreon to our VIP chatters.
That's right. To become a VIP chatter, you must head over to our Patreon, which is www.patreon.com/crime chat with Nat and Kat. Not only do you get bonus episodes, you will get behind the scenes, bonus materials, you'll get the inside scoop, and some merch.
So get on over there, chatters, and subscribe to become a VIP chatter. So I mentioned that we were going to go to a movie theater. So we went and watched a movie called No Hard Feelings. It's got Jennifer Lawrence in it.
Okay.
It's like a comedy. It was really, really funny. She's broke. She's losing her home that her mother, when she died, left to her. And she's trying to come up with the money. So basically the government doesn't take her home to pay taxes and everything like that. And she finds a Craigslist ad that says, "We need somebody to date our son, and we'll give you a free car." And she had a car repossessed. So, and she's an Uber driver. You can't be an Uber driver without having a car.
Right.
So she gets her car repossessed, and she's like, "I need a car because I need to make the money, because I need to save this money so I can save my house." She's like 30, plays like 30, 31, something like that. And the kid's 19, getting ready to go off to college, is a complete introvert, stays home, video games. Like the parents are like, "We need him out and socialized."
Right.
And there was one part where they were skinny dipping in the ocean. And this is in Montauk, New York. And they were skinny dipping in the ocean. And these other teenagers come over and like steal their clothes off the beach. And she gets out of the water, runs naked. And they showed everything. And it was Jennifer Lawrence. Like, we actually looked it up and we're like, that's got to be she wouldn't do that, right? That's got to be a double or a body. No, she actually did that whole scene. And you can see her like running naked to go beat up these teenagers because they stole their clothes. Anyway, so a lot of like really like quirky, funny parts like that. It was really good. It was, and it had like a good kind of lesson in it too. You know what I mean? So one of those good stories. I don't really recognize. There's a couple other actors that I do recognize that's in there, but like I'm not like confident of their names or anything like that. But one of them is Matthew Broderick. He plays the kid's father.
Oh, okay.
And he's aged.
Has he?
Oh yeah. And I finished the Walking Dead series. I know we kind of were like watching it in spurts, like kind of throughout the last several months. But since we started watching the Maggie and Negan spinoff Dead City, he's like, "I want to go back and finish it." So we finished that. And it was so funny because he's like, "This is how it ends? Like, this is it?" And I was like, yeah, because they already knew by this time they're going to have all these spinoffs. So they're kind of trying to set it up. He's like kind of disappointed. And I was like, why? It was very heartfelt kind of ending. And I think maybe he expected something else, but I liked it. But what about you?
I started watching The Shooter. Did you see that series with Ryan Phillippe?
Yes.
He's so handsome.
Oh, yeah.
And that's basically it. Well, before you get into your story, I dug up some fun Nutty News headlines. Well, Nat's Nutty News headlines.
All right.
I pulled 5, and then the 6th one that I have here is not technically Florida, but I kind of stuck to Florida because there's just Florida just keeps on giving and giving. Yeah. Florida never disappoints. Florida man found with drugs after getting trapped in a porta potty. Florida man stuck inside a porta potty was arrested on drug charges after Collier County deputies found him screaming for help. According to the WBBH, he was found with a foot sticking out of the bottom of the porta potty. That's gross. That's ugh.
Remember the show I was telling you about you needed to watch, The Florida Man?
Yes, I haven't seen that yet.
And there's a porta potty scene in one of them.
You have to be stealing from the headlines. Florida man is accused of driving a stolen vehicle to a Space Force base, what he called a mission from the President of the United States, according to the reports. The president told him in his mind that he needed to take the vehicle and warn the government officials aliens fighting Chinese dragons. He was arrested and charged with grand theft auto of a motor vehicle. And I mean, there should be more than he was just that. But okay.
I would think so too. It depends on, like, if he went to the base, if he tried to gain access, I mean, that would probably be a whole nother charge. That would be federal level charges too.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
I used to get these phone calls all the time.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah. Like when I was still in, and we would get these, I know you have UFOs there and there's spacecraft over there and you need to,
right.
Or either that, or we get the fighter jets were flying 100 foot over my house. I saw him so closely, he winked at me. And I'm like, okay.
In Florida are looking for a man. And this guy is still at large, people.
Yeah.
Authorities in Florida are looking for a man who broke into a restaurant and left a disgusting mess over the weekend. Fort Myers police are trying to identify the pooping predator. This is actually happening right now.
Yeah.
Joe's Crab Shack.
Shit, from Joe's Crab Shack. I've been there several times.
In Fort Myers.
Fort Myers, yeah.
The man entered the restaurant by climbing into a small window he broke. Police said that he defecated on the restaurant floor before leaving with the stolen goods, according to police. To help identify the stinky suspect by sharing surveillance photos and videos to the public, footage shows him wandering around Joe's Crab Shack and even taking a seat while looking directly at the camera. He is still at large, so if you have any sightings.
Did they share the videos of him pooping?
I don't know. I don't think that. No, that's disgusting.
Do you recognize this squatter? Interesting headlines out there. So, but as a quick recap, chatters, again, we got our nuggets. We got Nuggy back behind here. It's going to help me out. We dropped some nuggets in the previous episode that I wanted you to hang on to. So last week we talked a lot about much of Ed Kemper's upbringing, the cruelty and abuse that he endured as a child, feelings of abandonment and inadequacy, how incredibly smart he was, and so much more. So if you haven't listened to it, guys, go ahead and check out last week's episode 64. But where we left off, Ed was convicted of murdering his grandparents, Edmund Kemper Sr. and Maud Kemper, in cold blood because he wanted to know what it felt like to kill them. He was only 15 years old at the time when he was sentenced to a maximum security building for the criminally insane at a place called Atascadero. I got it that time.
Okay.
State Hospital in St. Louis Obispo County, California. Ed learned as much as he could about what types of responses and behaviors would reveal a quote-unquote healthy personality. And in his evaluation for release, he had convinced psychiatrists he was rehabilitated and was regarded as non-threatening. Later, he said that being able to understand how these tests functioned allowed him to manipulate his psychiatrist, and admitted he learned a lot from sex offenders whom he administered tests to while he was working as an assistant to the psychiatrist in the state hospital.